more information, probably the better. Meaning, you know, the place, the date, the time, people's information that are either involved in the event or that witnessed the event, especially if you're in an instance where you know it's not your fault. Something's taken place that you would deem completely someone else's fault. You definitely want to gather enough information that it makes it quite clear that, hey, hang on a second, it's the third party that's done this, and you'll have independent people that would say, yes, this is actually what happened. So that's probably the best way I can describe getting all the information that's required. On top of that, the next thing I would suggest is always have full coverage on your car, because really what you're buying isn't necessarily, the replacement of your car in the event of loss. What you're paying for is legal representation. So you're paying for people to decipher and go through information to really truly assign fault. And yes, at the end of the day, you get your car. But equally important, sort of the circumstances have been dealt with for on your behalf. Imagine that this happened to me, boy, I think maybe a month and a half ago. I had a client come to me, said some gal ran into him, sideswiped him, and took off. And he said, you know, so what am I going to do? I look at his policy. He doesn't have collision. It was a $8,000–9,000 car. And I remember the day he came in. Second car, it's cheap. I want cheap insurance. I said, are you sure? I told him, no one's going to fix your car. He said, no, I want it cheap. And very words he used. I want cheap, 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 cheap. And I told him, listen, you've got one-way coverage. That's all there is on this vehicle. And lo and behold, we find out going through the claim process, or not the claim process, but gathering more information and hearing about what actually took place, the woman was drunk. So now the third-party insurance company, they're denying because her coverage null and void. So now my client, who for $150 a year could have had his vehicle completely replaced, would have had the legal representation to go after the third party and assign fault, and now here he is having to go to small claims court to try to recoup $9,000 or $10,000 plus whatever else he might get through that process. You know, all to save $150 a year. So, you know, it's gathering all the information you can at the time of claim, and it's having an insurance company backing you that can take you through the process from start to finish. And if you don't pay for that representation, of course, you're not going to get it.